Hey everybody, this is Matthew Stevens going over Module 1 for EDL 851, building professional capacity in ourselves first, and then others. Just a little bit about me. I graduated from Fort Hays State in 2004. I currently teach in Oklahoma, and I'm alternatively certified from there. Actually, graduated from Fort Hays State with a political science minor and a public relations degree. I've been in education for about 15 years. I currently teach in Moore, but I've also taught at Union. I coached at UCO, and I taught at Mustang. Those are all schools in Oklahoma. Teaching 10th grade world history. I've been at a brand new school for about 9 weeks now, so that's always pretty interesting. If you only have been there for a short amount of time, it's definitely a learning curve. A little bit more of a personal look here. I have a daughter, Taylor. She's 21. You can see her there. She's also a Fort Hays State grad and a current teacher in Junction City. That is where I was born and raised. Like I said before, I coach wrestling. I've coached at the high school and collegiate levels. I've also volunteered for USA Wrestling, where I've coached on numerous world teams and also still volunteer for them as well. Avid Chiefs fan, which not normal in Oklahoma. A lot of Cowboys fans, but I'm also a Ducks Unlimited volunteer. So little things, what we're going to see in this presentation today. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the reflective analysis of the documents that we read and got, for research on this one. We're going to talk about how those reflection of the strengths and weaknesses that I have. The main four that I found that were the most important. Number two, the professional capacity, describing how staff can promote many school visions and missions. Collaborative culture, and understanding of how working with staff in many ways can build a strong team. And then four, system implementation, processes that will help promote school improvement and student success, which I think everyone here thinks that's probably the most important, just like I do. Let's go ahead and look at the reflective analysis. Few things that I got out of the content, which I think were the most important. Number one, just my overall view on everything was that the common theme I found in all the readings was how a school leader can be effective, okay, and how it can build a community of leaders driven, that are trying to improve the environment for their students. And I feel like that was the main thing that I got from everything that I looked at, and I hope that you guys did too. Also, according to Lambert, that an effective school leader will be a broad-based. They will use skillful participation in the work of leadership, and I think that is really key, because what she says is, that you're not so focused on one thing, and that you're trying to participate with your peers to really find the best way. And then last but not least, a leader is communicative, collaborative, and connected, which I think all of those are very important. A few things that I looked at, the four main ones that I saw was build professional capacity to help students, promote a collaborative environment, embrace the opportunity to impact students' achievement, and then help others succeed. My strengths throughout all these, I love working with others. I think that's very important. I've had many leadership roles when it comes to coaching. I've also been a strong voice in my departments in every single school that I've been at. My main issue that it's kind of a trend if you look through here, is that I really want to help everybody. And sometimes I think I overload myself when I can really just kind of focus on, one or two things, or one or, a group of individuals, instead of trying to, use my time in so many different directions. I also have struggles with trying to get people to stay involved when we're doing these collaborations and different things. But I always want to help people, and I always want to help promote individuals as well. Talking about professional capacity. Oops, sorry there. Looking at that, what is leadership capacity? Okay, and I generalize this off of everything that I read, but leadership capacity is ability to have a culture of leadership in everyone involved. Leadership is promoted in all visions and missions of the institution, and is carried out to make an effective environment. When you talk about schools, Lambert hit it on the head. High leadership capacity schools look at student leadership as vital for student performance. And I think when you look at it that way, principal is the least important. Your kids kind of leading each other is going to be your most important thing. School professional capacity when it comes to recruiting, selecting, and hiring. And I got all this from Baldanza. Start early, collect a great list of candidates. I've hired many assistant wrestling coaches and helped hire different teachers being very involved in my departments, you always got to have a large list to choose from. Use collaborative methods for effective selection. Maybe you take someone around. I've given multiple people that are coming in, given them tours and kind of talked with them and kind of got a feel for who they are. Finally, as a committee, decide on a candidate with guidelines for the decision. I think it's great when principals get input from other people that have talked to candidates. And I think as long as there's guidelines on how you are selecting people, I think, working together is the best route. Collaborative culture. Just a little, you see this guy here, he's definitely exciting, but help others succeed. When people feel their work matters, they matter. And that was something that Coffin says. And I think that's important when you talk about the overall well-being of everybody, teacher retention, and school improvement. Driscoll says promote the ability to inspire and the commitment to persistence. And I think we get away from inspiring students. I think it's not on a daily basis. And I think if we just live that culture day to day to day, I think it's great. And I've seen the difference from schools I've worked at and schools I've worked at that have two different perspectives on that. For promoting professional and personal health, I think you got to not just look at someone professionally, but look at them personally and then deliver actionable feedback and instruction. I know I personally, I I get vanilla in my teaching every once in a while, and I need someone to come in and give me some honest feedback on how that's going and what are the things we can do. School improvement, delegate everyone to influence all of the school community. I think giving people the power to lead is something that we do not do enough. And I think that we don't allow kids to be great. I don't think we allow our teachers to be great. And I think we need to just sometimes sit back and just let them have the opportunity to do so. System implementation. How do we get things going? If you take a look here, I took this from Lambert. It was really 3 steps, but I made a fourth. I added on to it. But you see a need for a change. I think that's the one thing that we don't talk about enough is that you have to recognize that there needs to be a change. Okay, as a school leader, you see there's a problem and you want to implement a new vision. All right, the instructive phase as a school leader, you keep learning, you maintain staff accountability, and you involve others while maintaining a safe school environment. You collaborate here. You try to figure out what's the best route for you to go, what's the best route for the whole school to go. The transitional phase as a school leader, turn values into vision, coach for instructional improvement. And then, in this phase right here is where you really kind of learn or teach the ins and outs of where you want the school to go. Get people to buy in. Find ways to get people to buy in. Everyone's not going to buy in right off the bat. You may have to, tell people why this thing's going to work out. And you got to understand that quick fixes are not going to be the end all be all when it comes to things. You need to understand that, hey, we might not make it right here, but we're going to make it down the road. And then last but not least is when everything's going great, the high leadership capacity phase. Okay, as a school leader, you're going to think of the school strategically because everyone else is helping you run the school. All right, they're helping you lead. The students are helping lead. They're telling other students, hey, we don't do that, which I think is hard to get to. But if you can get there, the Mecca, the ideal school, that's what's going to be happening. And then you're just going to continue to expand on those wanted behaviors with your teachers through trainings and other different things. I just also want to talk about the 4 C's, and I think this is really important. And I just saw it, Key talks about it, is that is this thing working? How do you evaluate it? Are people critical thinking? Are they communicating? Are they collaborating? And are they being creative? If they're not, does your professional development challenge you? Okay. And I think that's one thing that we do is we're like, hey, we got to work on this PD. Hey, we need to work on this PD. But is that professional development really helping our teachers? Are we using their time effectively? And I think we really need to kind of take a step back and look at these 4 C's and make sure that we're constantly trying to use these when we're working with our educators, working with our students, and even working with our administrations. Here's kind of my correlation, relevancy, and reflection. Overall, I loved learning about the capacities, the professional. I learned about the leadership capacities. I think it was great information and really effective. Effectively helped me in my learning and helped me know what I'm going to do as a future school leader. Like, as far as I know, implementing change, because I think a lot of times we just don't see the change and we don't see that things need to be fixed. And one of the biggest things that I got from this is, you don't have to fix everything quickly. And I think if you understand that sometimes certain things are going to take a while and you're going to have some losses before you get some wins. And I think if you take that and you internalize it and you understand what your end goal is, that you're really going to find a place that is going to make you feel a lot better. Last but not least, here is all of my references. I try to use every single one of them in some form of capacity, even if it was just learning, maybe not quoting them. I hope you guys really enjoyed my presentation, and I look forward to the next one, and I look forward to seeing everyone else's.